بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا الشمس كورت وإذا النجوم انكدرت وإذا الجبال سيرت وإذا العشار عطلت وإذا الوحوش حشرت وإذا البحار سجرت وإذا النفوس زوجت وإذا الموءودة سئلت بأي ذنب قتلت وإذا الصحف نشرت وإذا السماء كشطت وإذا الجحيم سعرت وإذا الجنة أزلفت علمت نفس ما أحضرت فلا أقسم بالخنس الجوار الكنس والليل إذا عسعس والصبح إذا تنفس إنه لقول رسول كريم ذي قوة عند ذي العرش مكين مطاع ثم أمين وما صاحبكم بمجنون ولقد رآه بالأفق المبين وما هو على الغيب بضنين وما هو بقول شيطان رجيم فأين تذهبون إن هو إلا ذكر للعالمين لمن شاء منكم أن يستقيم وما تشاءون إلا أن يشاء الله رب العالمين.
Peace, peace, peace. What's up? What's happening, everybody? Happy Friday. Juma Mubarak. Shalom Shabbat. Reflecto. What up? Who was that in there with you? Mag? What's that? Mag L? You gotta tell me your name. Is it Mag Agel or yeah? No. What's up? Appreciate you here. Let me know if y'all can hear me on the mic so we can get this presentation started. This is gonna be certified classic as usual, I must say. You know what I mean? But yeah, let me know if y'all can hear me on the mic. We got a good good sound, so let me know. I know it's a little delay. Mag L. All right, cool. Yeah. I'm waiting on the sound check though. Let me know if we straight on that. We good? Appreciate it. Cool. Appreciate it. All right. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Sallallahu Allah Muhammad Sallallahu Allah Khadijah Sallallahu Allah Fatima Sallallahu Allah Ali Sallallahu Allah the Al-Bayt. Today's conversation is the spiritual meaning of Bombs Over Baghdad, which we know was a classic, iconic song from Outkast. Let me turn my ringer off. You know, it was a classic, iconic song from Outkast. The Aquemini duo, Aquarius and Gemini, you know what I mean? Which, it's funny, me and Minister Jew often compare ourselves to that flow because Aquarius and Gemini. And I'm going to say off the bat that Bombs Over Baghdad in reality i.e., the Gulf War, a spiritual payback for Baghdad that is stuck in a time loop. And I'm going to prove the time loop in Quran and in events, what we would call the true hakika, meaning the truth of reality and how reality works. Okay. All right. So let's get into it. Who founded Baghdad? Baghdad was founded by Caliph Abu Ja'far al-Mansur. Okay. This is our founder of Baghdad. He will be the initiator of Baghdad and start a translation movement in creating the Royal Library, known as the House of Wisdom, one of the best libraries to ever stand. Harun al-Rashid expanded the library, the House of Wisdom, and al-Mamun is the one who makes it famous. These gentlemen are known as the Abbasid Caliphs. They come from the Abbasid family, which are cousins to the Rasulullah. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon them. And they were vicious enemies to the Prophet's family. Without a shadow of a doubt, they were vicious enemies to the Prophet's family. Okay. All right. So this is who built Baghdad. Okay. And when we get into Bayat al-Hikmah, the House of Wisdom, we have to understand that they're really translating a lot of the Greek, a lot of the Latin, a lot of the Persian into Arabic. And this becomes the beginning of the Islamic golden age, where in truth, I seen this one woman do it. I think she's Persian, and she's like, Islamic ain't got no golden age. It just stole it from the Persians, and you call it a golden age, right? But nevertheless, there's a lot of accepting other culture sciences, and then it gets transcribed into the Arabic. So those who can't read Greek, Persian, Latin, and so forth can now understand and broaden their perception about reality. So that's pretty cool in a sense. Okay. All right. This is what you have to know. You should really screenshot this right here. Blow it up big as you can. Screenshot it. When you have the Rasulullah at the very top, and we start to get into the family tree, and normally for me, I have Khadijah, may the peace and blessings of Allah be upon them both, on the left-hand side next to the Rasulullah. His last surviving descendant, his only surviving descendant, because all his children would die before him, besides one, Fatima. Fatima marries Ali. Ali is a cousin to the Rasulullah. So now he's cousin and son-in-law. And then they're going to give birth to two sons, Hassan and Husayn. And all the gentlemen at the bottom, known as the 12 imams, will come from the lineage of Husayn. Saddam Hussein, Husayn. Okay, get ready to make a connection in a few. Now, in red, I have Imam Zain Abidin, known as the ornament of worshipers. He is the son of Husayn, which means this is the first, well, I'm going to say the first, but this is the grandson of Ali, which means what? If Husayn is the grandson of Prophet Muhammad, then that means Husayn's son in red, Ibn Zayn Abidin al-Sajud, he is the grandson or the great grandson of the Prophet. He's the Prophet's grandson, son. Husayn, grandson, son. Oh, get it? Now, this is where I say, hey, ladies and gentlemen, please, how is it that when we come into Islam, especially from the Sunni perspective, why don't we know that Zayn Abidin has a book known as the Psalms of Islam? Literally, the Psalms of Islam, and some also call this the sister of the Quran. This is the Prophet's grandson, Husayn, son, the Prophet's great grandson, known as Imam Sajud, because he's always praying, has a writing of himself called the Psalms of Islam. How is it that when we in the Sunni school, our first book should really be, or is a Hadith by Bukhari or Sahih Muslim? Why is Hadith first when we have a whole Psalm of Islam? That's wild to me, right? All right. So that's something we should know. Another thing is when we look at Ali, there is a beautiful composition right here known as the Peak of Elegance. The sermons, the writings, the speeches of Ali. I should have pointed out in one of these when he's talking about the prayer during Ramadan was invented by Umar and why Ali let it slide. And he said it's because if you take it away from the people, it's gonna be way worse, right? That you can just kind of just leave it alone. You know what I mean? And so there was innovation that came in. And I showed this hadith before. You can challenge yourself and go to Google or your AI and say, what is the prayer Umar invented during Ramadan? And you're going to see that he changed the concept of the prayer and how everything was flowing. And then when he saw that came in the next day, he said, oh, what a good bid'ah, what a good innovation. Okay. All right. So let's move on. Oh, today we're going to look in green because I'm just going to give two examples of Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq and Imam Musa, his son, al-Kazim. I'm going to give two examples. Okay. All right. Now, when you deal with Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq, who I oftentimes talk about, he has narrated over 15,000 hadiths. He had over 4,000 students. In fact, his school is called the Ja'fari school. Just like you have the Hanafi school, you have the Maliki school, the Shafi school, the Hanbal school. You got the Ja'fari school. Who are scholars who benefited from his knowledge? Abu Hanifa, we talked about before, and Imam Malik, we talked about before. So the first two Sunni schools, they learned directly from Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq. Okay? They learned directly from him. Okay? All right. Now, look what happened to Imam Malik. Al-Mansur, the Abbasid Caliphate, beat Malik. Why? Because Imam Malik gave a fatwa, a legal opinion, that an oath taken under coercion is invalid. Mansur's governor saw this was a threat to their forced allegiance. He was arrested, publicly flogged, and his shoulder was dislocated. Interesting. Let's read the highlight in the hadith. There will be leaders who will not be led by my guidance and who will not adopt my ways. There will be among them men who will have hearts of devils and bodies of human beings. I said, what should I do, messenger of Allah, if I happen to live at that time? He replied, you will listen to the emir and carry out his orders, even if your back is flogged and your wealth is snatched. You shall listen and obey. So it is clear that you are not to follow the leaders who have hearts of devils. You're not to follow them, even if your back is flogged and your wealth is snatched away. So we can say alhamdulillah or big thanks to Imam Malik because he got beat for going against the Caliph. Okay. All right. Well, what about Mr. Abu Hanifa? If you want to say Hanifa. Well, al-Mamun imprisoned him. And look, two of the Abbasid brothers pretty much jumped him. Al-Mamun imprisoned him. And then al-Mustasim flogged him for refusing to say the Quran was created. You see what type of leaders you had in control of Islam? They wanted you to say, hey, man, say the Quran is created. It's not no divinely inspired book. This is not revelation. But yet these people were calling themselves Muslim. And they was in leadership. Yeah, see, we're going to find out who was the leaders who had hearts of devils. It's very funny in the Sunni world. They say the Rashidun caliphs, which means the rightfully guided caliphs, and it's only 4. So are you implying everybody after 4 was not rightly guided? You must be. You must be. And what a coinky dink when we look at that list after Ali, it gets very, very, very devilish. Very devilish. Okay. All right. So also note that Hanafi also came out of his pocket 10,000 dinars to help Zayd. Who is Zayd? Zayd is the son of Imam Sajud. So Husayn's son, Imam Sajud, known as Zayn Abidin. Imam Sajud, who writes this, the Psalms of Islam that we don't know about. He has a son named Zayn. Named Zayd. Zayd says, listen, I'm about to go physically fight these dudes. I ain't taking this. I ain't with all the praying stuff. I'm about to go rumble these dudes. Who they say is the first Sunni school, Hanafi, says, listen, I got 10,000 on you. Go ahead, do your thing. I'm gonna finance that. This is a fact. This is a fact. So how they try to paint the picture of Imam Malik and Hanafi being Sunni, I keep telling you, and I'm gonna show a little bit more, that is an Abbasid, enemy of the Rasulullah family. That is a trick from the devil. Okay? All right. Let's keep going. I want him to say the Quran was created. And he died in prison. They put him in prison, beat him, and he died there. Messed up, man. All right, let me blow this up. So Abu Hanifa himself died in 767 while in prison during the Abbasid period and actually refused appointments from the Abbasid government. Okay. Now, the turning point of the Hanafi school of fiqh comes by the way of his student, Abu Yusuf, as chief judge. You understand? So his student is the one who accepts the prominent position within the Abbasid, the enemy's government, and then they say, ha, this is the school of thought here. But that wasn't Abu Hanifa. That Abu Hanifa, we know where his allegiance was at. See what happened? Okay. All right, let's keep it moving. Now, al-Mansur is going to go at Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq. And notice his name is Ja'far. Al-Mansur is going to go against Ja'far al-Sadiq. al-Sadiq. You see this? Ja'far on Ja'far. This is going to come back later, as far as this twin name. He kept him under surveillance, arrested him multiple times, put him, his house was set on fire. Then he was eventually poisoned. Okay? All right. So then, when Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq's son, Musa al-Kazim, came into power, the next caliph, Harun al-Rashid, who expanded the library, remember, y'all saw him earlier, he expanded the library of the House of Wisdom. You know what he do to Ja'far's son? Had him arrested, moved him for prison so the followers couldn't locate him, took him from Medina to Baghdad, right? And then eventually he too was poisoned. And then when they took his body, hung his body over a bridge and said, this is Musa ibn Ja'far, son of Ja'far, whom the Rafida or Rafida claim has not died. He's dead. We don't care that he is from the Rasulullah's family. He's dead, dangling from a bridge. You see? This is Baghdad. These are the founders of Baghdad. Clear enemies to the Prophet's direct family. In which the Prophet said, what? I leave behind two weighty things. I leave you the Qur'an, which is a book of light or a guidance of light, and I leave my family. I remind you, in parentheses, to the duties of my family or the people of my house. Al-Bayt. Yes? So he's kind of like playing with us. Hey, I remind you, the people of my family. Look out. Right? That's not what happened. Nobody looked out. Nobody looked out. So the truth of Husayn. Okay? The truth of Husayn. Because you got Saddam Hussein, who comes many years later. And then you have Imam Hussein. May the peace and blessings of Allah be upon him. The great martyr. Yes? You can go watch this on YouTube. There are Nigerian Shia Muslims. Don't think that Shia Islam is something that's an Arab thing. Okay? You can go look at videos of this. All right? One thing I love about that African connection, again, from Imam number 6, Ja'far al-Sadiq, all the way to Imam 11, all of them had black African wives, and they're their names right there. I'm not making this up. You can go look it up. All of them had black wives. At the bottom is their origin. Northwest Africa, Northwest African Berber, Nubia. She was the same tribe as Mary the Cop, which is was the wife to the Rasulullah. Mary the Cop, Mary the Egyptian, Coptic Egyptian. Okay? All of them specifically went into Africa, particularly Nubia, to marry a black woman. Okay? All right. So when you see this, this is real. Okay? All right. Now, was Saddam Sunni? Yes. He carried the name Hussein, but he's Sunni. Okay? Even though Iraq was approximately 60 to 65% Shia during his rule, a little more than half. His regime severely repressed both Shia and Kurdish opposition movements. He also imprisoned, executed, or suppressed Sunni opponents when they were perceived as political threats. Now, some examples involving the Shia community include the suppression of the 1977 Safar uprising, the execution of Muhammad Bakr al-Sadr in 1980. Yes. And the violent suppression of the 1991 Shia uprising following the Gulf War. Bombs over Baghdad time coming for you, buddy. But see, pay attention. You see how they executed somebody by the name of Muhammad Bakr? Look at Imam number 5. What's his name? Muhammad Bakr. You see? course, this is not the same Muhammad Bakr. We 1300 plus years later, right? Look at the synchronicity of the story. It's going to get better. Okay. Now, look at this verse. If the hypocrites and those in whose heart is disease and those who spread rumors in al-Medina do not cease, we will surely incite you against them. Then they will not remain your neighbors therein except for a little accursed. Whatever they are found, seized and massacred completely. Now, here's the bottom part in gold. The established way of Allah with those who passed on before, and you will not find in the way of Allah any change. Now, that kind of sounds like on the surface, what that is okay, you have people who passed on before, and that's just going to be the system. That's just the way it is. The prophet is going to have hypocrites as enemies. That's just what it is. True. I'm going to add a layer to that, though, to give you some context to this, because this is what it is. This blew my mind that this was even in Quran. If a wound has touched you, be sure a similar wound has touched the others. Such days we give to men and men by turns, that Allah may know those that believe, and that he may take to himself from you ranks, martyrs, and Allah loveth not those who do wrong. If a wound has touched you, be sure a similar wound has touched others. Such days we give to men and men by turns. I know you probably ain't caught it yet. Let me show you what do you mean by turns. Do you know on 9/11, 2015, because we all know about 9/11, 2001, do you know a crane fell down on the masjid where the Kaaba is, Masjid Haram, and killed 111 people on 9/11? You know that? This is what it means when it says, in these days we alternate among the people, or we will take turns. Let me give you another one. When Baghdad fell, it fell on April the 9th, 2003. But April the 9th is the same day General Lee surrendered. Stuck in a time loop, you understand, of war. So what that scripture is saying is, when my partner Noble Minister Jew, I was about to call him Noble Jew, Minister Jew does his thing and he shows you the sports analogies, and mainly sports analogies is his thing, right? This person scored 50 points in game 33, but this dude in game 33 had a poster of him as a kid, and when he played his 50th game, he scored 33 points. He keeps showing you these parallels. So when the Quran makes this statement right here, when a wound has touched you, be sure a similar wound has touched others. So there is a similar wound, an injury that is coming back around to repeat itself. Such days we give to men and men by turns, which means this similar wound that comes back to repeat itself, y'all gonna take turns in this SHIT, and we don't even know it. That's crazy. So what? So you may become a believer, in that he may take to himself from your ranks. You become a martyr. I told Mr. Judas, he said, man, I don't want no parts of this, man. I don't want no parts of it. I don't like it. I don't like no parts of it. Yeah. Yeah. So these reoccurring mirroring events keep happening so you can become a believer right here in the Quran. You're getting picked, right? All right. So move on. So we know that, or maybe we don't know, but Imam Hussein was beheaded, but Saddam Hussein was choked out. Yes, still died by the throat. Okay. Very similar death. And that's what it means. That's what it means. It's crazy. Because now, if we pay close attention to what's going on, Saddam Hussein, this Hussein, is an enemy to the Shia. So now the story don't care what side you on, as long as you play the role. Ooh. As long as you play the role. I don't care what side you on. Y'all better pick who gonna be the good guy, who gonna be the bad guy, cops and robbers. I don't care who is what, but y'all gonna play cops and robbers today. Y'all pick. Okay? So we don't need a Hussein to be a Shia to get the story to be told. We don't need that. It just need Hussein. Just like Barack Hussein Obama is going to go at Gaddafi. And Gaddafi, we show, is going to tell you that, what are we doing being Sunni? We're Shia. We with Ali. We ain't with Muawiyah and all them. We with Ali. I played that video. Yes? So Barack Hussein Obama is going to go at him. Barack Obama is not going to be the champion of the Libyan people. Even though he can be African born, or we can say not African born, but African heritage from Kenya, etc. Carry the Muslim name. We don't care. As long as you play the role. You understand? All right. The person who sentenced, or who is in charge of the process of sentencing Saddam Hussein, went by the name, or his name is al-Rashid Abd al-Rahman. And I say, wait a minute, I know the name Abd al-Rahman. Abd al-Rahman was the head arbitrator when Umar was on his deathbed. So they put a council, a 6-member council together to pick who was going to succeed Umar. And if it becomes a tie, Abd al-Rahman played as the chief judge, lead arbitrator, to break that tie. So that's a time loop. You got this Abd al-Rahman who said, he's a chief judge over Saddam Hussein. And then as we go into pretty much a succession crisis after the prophet, you see someone named Abd al-Rahman here playing the role. Okay. All right. So let's talk about that wound that the Quran said, be sure that a similar wound is going to touch the other people. And see, once you figure this thing out, you don't want to be bothered. So this is the word for wound, kaf, ra, ha, Q-R-H. But look at the dictionary. Look at the root word for it. What do it also means? To invent, to originate, to think up of something, to improvise something, to propose, to suggest something. Oh, so the wound carries the same meaning as some type of thought, a proposal, a suggestion. That's a thought. You see? This is dangerous. This is very dangerous. Okay? This is why I tell you the Quran is, as Imam Ja'far al-Sadiq said, has at least 7 layers to it, at least. So by the heavens full of pathways, right? One of my favorite descriptions of Quran. This word is only used once, and it does mean fabric, tissue, structure, sturdy, strong, tight, interwoven. Another definition is intersecting. So space has a fabric. Our thoughts and our actions, because we live in space, we keep thinking space is out there. Space ain't out there. Space is, we're in space. Space is right here. You're in space. Hello, you're in space. Stop thinking space is out there. It's not. We're in space. Now, something like the sun could be approximately 93 million miles away, depending what time of year it is. Okay, but we're all in space. Okay? Space is a fabric. Our thoughts and our actions are being left in space. It's no different than if I leave the kitchen dirty when I leave. I didn't put the hookah bong up, stuff Allah, right? But I didn't, right? I didn't put the hookah coal up. I left the foil out on the stove, right? It's a little junky a little bit. So when you come back into the space, you're like, oh man, I need to clean up a little bit. All right. I was on the, moving too fast. Let me go ahead and clean up. So we're making boo-boos in space. See, what happens on the physical plane happens on the spiritual plane. We know that. We heard it. As above, so below. We heard it, but I don't know if we fully ingesting this. What we do on the physical plane is a mirror of the spiritual plane. So if we in space and I have a horrible day called 9/11, I just showed you 14 years later on 9/11 in the mindset of the people in New York City at the memorial on 9/11 in America crying affected by 9/11. They know who did it. They said the Muslims over here did it. And their place of worship is right there at this masjid and go around this Kaaba. So 14 years later, when really the planet Saturn is involved in this rotation, when you understand that, when that planet gets in opposition to where it was, which is a straight line of space on the space-time fabric, then you have a mirroring effect to take place. Hello? So then a crane happens to fall by a wind, but wind has always been synonymous with spirit. So here go the question, Muslim. Here go the question. Why would Allah allow a crane to fall down and kill 111 Muslims at the masjid while you praying there? And this is the holy site. Why would Allah do that? Answer that. Like, you really need to think about that. You understand? Because we don't know. We don't know how. We have no idea the power of thoughts and emotions. We have no idea. We should, because your whole life can be turned upside down through a depression. Okay? All right. So when you see the Shia out by the millions reenacting this, here's part of the problem, ladies and gentlemen. We're mourning with a negative emotion. That's the problem. Not telling you not to have a negative emotion. But in mathematics, you have to introduce a positive in order to cancel out a negative. So the truth of the matter is this. Here's a hadith. If fasting on the day of Ashura, which is the 10th of Muharram, it expiates or gets rid of the sins of the preceding year. I'm going to argue it's still the timing of it. When is Muharram? That's the problem I have. I ain't got a problem with the 10th of Muharram. I got a problem with when you say it is. Because I understand time. But the point here is, this is the solution. You are supposed to be doing things that is supposed to negate negative wounds, as the Quran called it. I ain't call it that. The Quran called it that. Negative wounds from coming to you in the preceding year. But yet, we are going to places crying, mourning with a negative anger, emotion, not knowing that our thoughts is stuck in the space-time fabric, and not knowing that an event will have to come back in this reality called Saddam Hussein, who is going to further persecute you, Shia. He's going to do things to you, okay? Your beloved Husayn is now your enemy Husayn, who is coming because you really haven't solved the issue of the enemies of Husayn. That's the problem. You haven't come to an internal place of a remedy. So you're going to keep getting these reverberations that come back. And this goes for anything. 9/11, this goes for anything. Boyfriend, girlfriend goes for anything we got a negative emotion and thought about. Period. Period. And the Quran knows it. I just showed it to you. It told us flat out. Yeah, you got wounded, but be sure that the other people got wounded too, and I pick you. Y'all gonna take turns. So how do you stop it? How do you stop it? By getting off the hamster wheel. How do you get off the hamster wheel? The hamster wheel of negative emotion is what I'm talking about. It's natural. You're going to have negative responses. But you have to be developed enough in your neocortex, the command center of your brain, to balance out your emotion and neutralize it by doing something positive. Now, you can refuse, and if you refuse, just chalk it up and say, I'm weak. I refuse. I didn't go seek prayer. I didn't do the Udu Bile Shaitan Rajim in the time of conflict. I gave in. That's fine. Admit it, though. Don't act like it's a problem. You have to admit in that very moment, we just suckers and we soft. We don't have the willpower yet. Sort of like in AA and you know, hey, listen, you feel like you about to relapse, call your sponsor. I can't do nothing if you don't call the sponsor. The sponsor cannot intercede and interrupt that pattern if you don't give me a call. So it's always going to start and end with our choice. Always. Always. You ain't got nothing for me unless I choose that you got something for me, unless I accept that what you got for me is for me. I have to accept that first. Without that acceptance, it ain't happening. Right? So now we got to get ourselves into new habits of being 360 on this thing. 360. And I mean, that's not a metaphor. That's a real. In the Patreon, we did something started yesterday. Show you a 4-week practice. But I'm really about to take you around 360. I'm about to take you somewhere for a whole year. I'm going to show you something. The first thing is learning what the divine is. What is Allah? Now, this is going to sound crazy. I showed a video of what the best rendition of Allah is, as far as what your mind can conceive. Very interesting enough. You got some people who are seers and dreamers in a sense, and this is a seer dreamer, say, you know, I don't want to sound like I'm biting you, but I promise you, this is what I be seeing in my head that be coming to me. Like these visions come to me, and this is what I see. And I said, I know, because that's all that really exists is this. On any level, microscopic level, and what science is looking for, you're never going to be able to explain this. And this is really, I'll give it to you in a science term. Science says there's something called dark energy. It's not black dark. They just don't see it. That's what they mean. Dark energy that is moving the universe. They know it's there. That's the science term of Allah. And that's in Quran. And certainly we exploded it and we are expanding it. It's in Quran. You see? All right. Learning how in more of the philosophical schools, we say the field, the all. Learning what that is and tuning into that. That's imperative. Now is imperative. You know why? Because this is what we all gonna have to agree with. La ilaha illallah. There's nothing to deify but God, period. It's only one God, no matter what you call God. I think we can get an agreement on that. In the absence of God, if there's a such thing, the sun is our physical sustainer. Without the sun, we die. So as a cosmic representation of God, the sun is the sustainer. Interesting. Science, the astroscience, not astronomy science, has noted, wait a minute, when it's Leo season, approximately July 23rd to August 22nd, the temperature increases and it's the hottest in the northern hemisphere, and this is the summertime. The sun is exalted here because the sun is hot. So during the middle, Leo is in the middle of the hot season. When the sun is here, this is the sun's home. Then we start noticing the planet's locations and being able to figure out the psychological effects or psychological parallels that run within the mind of man and woman, or what this looks like. For example, Friday is Venus, or represents beauty. Usually you get your hair done, your nails done, haircut, things of that nature. What a coincidence. It's a day of beauty, right? Okay. So now we didn't notice these laws. There's a favorite verse of mine in the Qur'an that reads, "And we showed Abraham the kingdom of heaven, so he may be amongst those who know for certain." I said, whoa, you're supposed to be a prophet. You are a prophet, but you got to get taught the kingdom of the heavens before you can go sit with the Mukinas, the ones who know for certain. Whoa. Excuse me. Right? Deep. So the sun is at its strongest peak in a sense right here during this season. Well, we're taught that God is the light of the world. That's in the Bible. That's in Quran. The main light source here is the sun, our sustainer. It's at its strongest peak right now. Oh, I think we need to get in rhythm right now. It also rules, we come to find out. See, the Quran says we will show them our signs on the horizon and within themselves, into they, us, you and I, know that this is the truth. So way back in the day, before the church, way before Islam, and before the church got into it and started beefing and separated the schools of astronomy and astrology, it was a science called mathematics. Look it up. Now known as medical astrology. And they figured out that, wait a minute, we definitely got 12 months in a year. We kind of noticed that, wait a minute, hold on. Scorpio is the sexual reproductive organs. Wallahi, do you know the thing, the thing on top of a man's testicles is called an epididymis? Diddy. Bashan Diddy Combs is a Scorpio who goes by the name of Diddy and now is in prison for basically sex Scorpio charges. This is how real this is. See, the Quran said, I will show you. Think I'm lying? I think you need to see this. Let me take this off for a minute. Let me just the last slide anyway. Let's go to let's share screen, sir. Give me a tab. Give me a tab. What tab I want to open up? We can go here to chat. What is it called? Epididymis. Yes. Yeah. See, I ain't lying. Hey, I'm lying. The epididymis sits on top of the testicles. Okay. Now, Puff is a Scorpio born November the 4th. That's Scorpio season. And then we know his physical charges. And he goes by the name of Diddy. Okay? You see? So we will show them our signs on the horizons and within themselves because Scorpio rules the sexual reproductive system. Mars rules the blood. So what would that be? Circulatory system? Maybe? Is it? Yeah, I think circulatory system. Gemini, lungs, respiratory system. Libra, kidneys, urinary system. You see? Aquarius, nerves, nervous system. We can keep on going. So now these signs, and this is why if you go to, next time you check out at a supermarket and you see a farmer's almanac, we should be able, let's go to it. Let's go see. We're going to see today. We're going to see today. We should be able to see. Now let me stop. This is post over here. Yeah, that's fine. We going to see farmer's almanac zodiac man. Boom. This is on almanac.com. Zodiac signs in the body. The old farmer's almanac showing you Aries is around the head, Taurus is the throat and the endocrine system, Gemini is the lungs, respiratory system, Cancer is the breast, which is more lymphatic system, Leo is the heart, circulatory system, Virgo is the intestines, digestive system. Hello, I'm not lying. This is in old literature. And the farmers are the one who know how to take care of you. Without the farmers, man, I got a whole new respect for farmers. Because when I'm doing outside, I'm like, man, this is work. A whole new respect for the farmer. Okay. I want to do this piece called Fodger and the Farmer. Because they're the two to get up the earliest. All right. So it's inside of us. So now what we have to do to get off the hamster wheel is we have to go 360. And that's just one time. When you do 360 one time, because what if you got a negative event that you had in space time? This is now why it's kind of important to remember and going forward to remember traumatic days, unfortunately, but you should note them. Because I'm also going to give you some game. You really have a 24-hour window to negate that because you don't want a negative memory to saturate and form new and stronger synaptic channels in our brain. We don't want that. A new experience arrives, brain cells come on, you keep thinking about it, keep thinking about it, keep thinking about it. As you keep thinking about it and thinking about it, it's strengthening and strengthening and strengthening. You don't want this to happen. So you have to reenact the thing, the negative thing, as a positive thing. So now you got a new association with it to cancel that out so you don't replay a negative. You got a 24-hour window, 48 tops like a crime scene, first 48. Okay? That's mandatory. Now you go 360 just one time and you have this positive thing that you erase this negative thing. Now you at a net zero. You ain't even got a positive marking in this space. You got a net zero now. So now what that mean? You got to go another cycle to get +1. But what if we under some type of thing and we don't know that we got a lot of negatives in this region of space? I had a tenant tell me, I just get depressed because this is the month that my fiance had died. And it seemed like every month, this month is just always hard for me. I was just saying, girl, you have no clue. You have no clue. Okay? So how you get off, you got to get off. You got to change your motion. You got to change your thoughts and change your activity consistently as you going around. That's the journey. That's the real work. It's the real work. Okay? Don't mean that you ain't going to have no negatives. They're going to happen. But when they do, you have to be strong enough to intercede. Okay? Pray is something. All right? Because the Rasulullah is putting us up on game. What we do today can actually affect what's coming next year. That's deep. We can actually cancel out next year's stuff by what you're doing today. Okay? All right. We got any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Any comments? Let me know. All right. I don't lie to you, man. That's what that is. So Baghdad, the spiritual meaning of bombs over Baghdad is karma. It's payback. It's payback. Because Baghdad was founded. And in truth, for real, the House of Wisdom to a degree is sort of like a decoy in a sense. Because you had the Prophet's family, the imams, they were the living imam. They just wasn't the political leader. So now when people got more options to go learn and listen around, you feel me? Then you can actually, some people can go listen to this and go listen to this and go listen to that and not spend time with their sheikh, right? Or they imam. You understand what I'm saying? You got to watch this, man. These people were clear enemies. And I showed y'all before. And you can go Google this if you've never seen it. Did the Abbasid Caliphate make Imam al-Rida, the 8th Shia Imam, a member of his court, a member of his government? He did. And he only did it for symbolic reasons. He wouldn't let them vote. He wouldn't let them write a fatwa. He wouldn't let them do nothing. Because him and his brother was going through a civil war and he got power. Then he said, man, I need some votes. I need some support. Let me go over here and mess with the family of Ali and act like that. I'm down with them. Hey, bro, you're going to come over here and you're going to be a part of my government. But you can't do nothing, though. That's the enemies. Go look it up. You see? So, listen, man. All right. So any questions, let me know. I'll drop a link in the chat, but you got to click it fast and we can get up out of here. Any questions, any comments and whatnot. All right. Them boys, man. So anyway, again, that's spiritual karma. Same names popping up. The same, you saw it when Caliph is going at Imam Ja'far. You see? So this is crazy. It's crazy. If you got a comment, you can click the link if you want to come on real quick. If not, we get up out of here. All right. Bombs over Baghdad. You darn skippy. You darn skippy. You darn skippy, man. Because it's the systematic way of how I believe we should have. I would have loved. Let me go back to the slide here. I just would have loved to know. Where is it? Is it here? Where is it at? I gotta blow this up. Hold on 1 second, y'all. Let me see. Right here. I would have loved to have known about the family. I mean, and these gentlemen I've showed before, a lot of them lived into their 20s and 30s before their father died. You understand that? You imagine living into your 20s, you Imam Jude and Red on the 4, you living into your 20s, possibly your 30s, I forget with him, and until your father Husayn was murdered. You know how much information you was getting? And Husayn is in his 30s, is like in his 20s and 30s as well when Ali is, man. When Ali broke up out of here, they're getting direct. And you know Ali lived with the Rasulullah until him and Fatima moved out. He lived with the Prophet. You want to Google something? Let's go on the fun Google research together. Just to show you how this is how I think we should be learning, right? So let me see something. Let me share my screen. Come back here. Let's ask the question. How many years did Ali live with Prophet Muhammad? 25 to 28 years he lived with him. 25 to 28 years. Y'all see this? I hope y'all saw it. I don't know if y'all saw it because I may have had my other screen up, but let me come back and share the screen though. Because no, y'all ain't gonna see this. Okay? 25 to 28 years he lived with the Rasulullah. 25 to 28 years he lives with him. Then Husayn is in his high 20s and 30s that he lived with his father Ali. Then Imam Zayn Abidin is in his 20s and 30s that he lived with his father Husayn, and then he comes and he actually writes a book or have written it down, and it's called the Psalms of Islam, but we're not taught this. Why wouldn't we want to learn what they said and what they wrote? And it all comes from Ali, who lived 25 to 28 years with the Rasulullah. But you know what we did see? We saw that in current Saudi Arabia, you can go to, there's tons of bookstores who are refuting Shia theology because they don't want us to get that, because they are enemies. Okay? All right. All right. So that's why bombs had to drop over Baghdad. All right. All right. I'm gonna get up out of here. I gotta clean up. I got work to do. And hey, pray for me, man. You cat lovers, y'all better get y'all cat. Because I got a cat. It's funny, we in Leo, right? I got a cat that is giving me problems. Like this cat is coming into the yard and taking a crap on my watermelon patch. Not directly on the watermelon, but right next to the watermelon in the hay, because I got it in hay, so I guess it loves the hay structure. So then the first time I put a little net over it, and then the dude came the next day, or girl came the next day and pooped on top of the net, because it's a soft net and you still can kind of touch the, the straw that's under the net. So then I put chicken wire up, a fence up, and then I come back the next day, nothing. Then I come in this morning, the second day, with the chicken wire up. Lo and behold, somehow the cat must have either climbed the chicken wire or whatever, or squeezed in one spot, climbed over the sweet potato spot, went in there, I don't know, and pooped on top of my watermelon patch. Now, I don't want to have to go out all warfare on this cat, and I'm praying. I did pray, remove this cat, because I don't want the cat. I don't want cat feces. I don't. And according to Yaqui, he said the cat feces is known to carry the Fabulobuski worm. I don't want you. Nah, get your cat. So if you're a cat lover, remove your cat, because it's about to be biological warfare and the cat ain't gonna survive it. Okay, I don't want to do it, but remove your cat, man. I'm a dog guy. I just don't want the cat taking a crap on my stuff. So now what I did though, I'm pointing like y'all can see, but I got a big old net, bug net over it, and now I got to go get the clamps to clamp onto the gate so the net could be a little sturdy. So just in case he try to up and jump up on it, the net don't sink all the way down and he can't get in. So I'm kind of confident now. And it's kind of playing with my intelligence. Like, okay, we're going to see who's smarter, me or you. We're going to see what's up before I launch all out war on you. Okay? Well, get your cat, man. All right. All right, man. I'll leave y'all with the idle cursey. Hit me up if you need me. Website is almost done. Go to Heart Dawa. Got some new updates that's coming in. We are in the inside construction on the downstairs, converted some office space, tore out some carpet, put a new floor in, the same floor that's right here. If you've seen the before and after video footage, TV mounted, that's ready for the services as far as showing you this technology and stuff. So we just waiting him to come up and put some drywall up. He said he's gonna be here all day tomorrow, inshallah. And he gonna finish my floor in the greenhouse for me for free because he didn't make it yesterday and didn't make it today. So now he gonna make it up to me by doing that piece for me for free. So we're almost just about there. Okay. All right. So trust me when I tell you, man, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. You can join us in the Patreon, patreon.com, Noble Ampu. And if not, you can do a Cash App if you can. It's the Golden Heart Love CTR. You'll see a gold heart pop up. Okay. Golden Heart Love Center, which is this place. Okay. All right. I get with y'all. Peace.
الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء من علمه إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم